We are going to apply multiplying proper fractions to some real world problems. So in this problem, you can see at the top of your screen that Monica has 3/4 quart of chicken stock. She uses 2/3 of it to make soup. So how much chicken stock is used to make soup and how much chicken stock is left over? So we have our sentence answers ready to fill in here. I'm going to start by looking at my 3/4 chicken stock. So I make my 4 pieces, and I'm going to color in 4 of them, or 3 of the 4. So there's my chicken stock. That's 3/4 of a quart. So this whole box would be a quart, but she's only got 3/4 to start with. She's going to use 2/3 of this to make soup. So I need to split this into 2/3. And 2 of these will be for soup. So this one and this one, those 2 out of 3, and this one is going to be the left over. So the soup is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is equal to 1/2 to make soup. And left is 1, 2, 3 out of 12, or 1/4 in lowest terms left over. Michelle has 4/5 gallon of paint. She uses 3/4 of it to paint a door. How much paint does she use? How much is left over? Pause the video and try this one yourself first. I'm going to start by coloring in 4 out of the 5 bars that we made. And of course we already have our sentence answers down here. Michelle uses how many gallon of paint, and there's blank gallon of paint left over. It says that she uses 3/4 to paint a door. So I need to have 3/4 this direction. And of these 4 bars, I need 3 of them for the door. So of the paint stops here. This is not any paint in the can here. So I'm going to use this much for the door. So my door is 3 by 4, that's 12, out of 4 by 5 out of 20. Putting that in lowest terms, I can divide those both by 4, my greatest common denominator, to get 3/5 gallon of paint used. This bar up here is what was left over in the can. So that is 4 out of 20, which reduces to 1/5 gallon of paint left. Len received some money from a job. He saved 1/4 of the money, spent 4/9 of the remainder on a DVD, and spent the rest on a t-shirt. What fraction of the money was spent on the DVD? What fraction of his money was spent on the t-shirt? So I'm looking for the DVD and the t-shirt. I have my sentence answers ready. I'm going to make my picture a little bit different because of the word remainder this time. So we still need the 1/4 of the money that he saved. So we're going to make our 1/4 here and color that out. But this time, I'm going to mark my 1/4 this way because this is what he saved. If this is the 1/4 that he saved, then my remainder is over here. Because the next part says he spent 4/9 of the remainder. So I still need to make my 4/9 over here. So I need 9 pieces. But this time I'm going to mark on the remainder side instead of the saved side. And I need 4 of those marked. And it was 4/9 on a DVD, so I'm going to make D be my DVD. So there's 1/9, 2/9, 3/9 of the remainder, 4/9 of the remainder is my DVD. And the rest, so if this was saved and this was DVD, the rest is up here, and the rest of this is my t-shirt. So we'll make those T's for t-shirt. And then all I have to do is count out my fraction for the DVD and my fraction for the t-shirt. So 1, 2, 3, 4 by 3 on the DVD would be 12 out of, if this was 9 and this was 4, that'd be out of 36. Those both divide by 12, the greatest common factor, to give us 1/3. So 1/3 of his money was spent on the DVD. The t-shirt has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3, 15 out of 36. Those both divide by 3 to give us 5/12 of his money on the t-shirt. Janice picks some strawberries. She uses 3/5 of the strawberries to make jam. She gives 3/4 of the remainder to her neighbor. What fraction of the strawberries does she give to her neighbor? What fraction of the strawberries does she have left? Notice the word remainder again. We have our sentence answers set up to go. Pause the video and try this one yourself. Okay, we start with making 3/5 and coloring those 3/5 in. And this is going to be the 3/5 that she used to make jam. So I'm going to mark this 3/5 off as the jam. This 2/5 over here is that underlined word, the remainder. So instead of going on top of my jam, I'm going to go over the remainder here, and I'm going to use 3/4 of that to give to my neighbor. So I need to make this way into fourths. And again, the remainder is over here, and here's one of those fourths for the neighbor. Here's another fourth for the neighbor, so 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 of the remainder to her neighbor. Then if this was all jam over here, and these 3/4 were for her neighbor, this would be what's left. So the neighbor is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces out of 1, 2, 3, 4 by 5 is out of 20. Those both divide by 2 to give me 3/10 for the neighbor. And the leftover is 2 out of 20, which divides by 2 to give me 1/10 left over. We're going to use a second method to do the first problem we did. If she had 3/4 of a quart of chicken stock and she used 2/3 of it to make soup, that means to multiply. I can reduce before I multiply, like we learned, and multiply and get half, which is what we got before. Or I could multiply and then reduce at the end. Now, if she had 3/4 of a quart and she used a half, then with a common denominator, that would be 3/4 minus 2/4 would be 1/4 left over, which is what we found a little bit ago with our model. On this remainder question, if he saved 1/4 of the money, then the remainder would be 1/2 minus 1/4, which is 4/4 minus 1/4, which is 3/4 for his remainder. And then he spent 4/9 of 3/4 on the t-shirt. So if I multiply those out, I can reduce. And that would be 1/3. So 1/3 of his money on the DVD. And then the rest on the t-shirt. So that would be the rest of the remainder minus the DVD. Common denominator is 12. So this would be 9/12 minus 4/12 leaves 5/12 for the t-shirt. So there's a second method besides the model that you could also use.